Hello and welcome to Patch. I'm your host, Paul James, and today I'm joined by Jay Parnas.
Yes, you are.
We are here to talk E3. You're going to get a week-long...
No, we're not. We're here to talk about EA. They're not at E3 this year.
They distance themselves from it, despite the fact that they rock up at other press conferences and do all sorts of other stupidity. We're here to talk E3. EA Play is kind of an isolated thing. They want to keep themselves isolated, but then still want to be part of the party. I don't know. But EA Play, the press conference was this morning. We've watched it. We're here to talk about it and all we saw. So we'll kind of go through things in a relatively sequential-ish sort of order.
Do you like sports?
Getting the sports out of the way first. We'll start with Madden 18. Neither of us are NFL fans, but one thing I thought was admirable of them is they're for the first time a Madden game. They're in the Madden series. They're adding like a story mode to it.
Yeah, they've kind of done a lot of that with. They did that with FIFA
doing it, and then
2K did that
2K
with,
does it.
yeah.
So, and I don't know if they do it with NHL or NBA, as in EA's NBA. I don't recall whether they were doing something like that. They probably need to focus on making sure that game actually works. And releases.
It's like 2K, do you want the broken online, or EA, do you want the broken video game?
The entirety of it, not functional. But I mean, what you're seeing at the moment is some little clips from what they're calling long shot. Like that's whatever they're calling their story mode there. I guess maybe that has some sort of I guess it's the big long bomb. But the Madden story mode anyway.
As far as I'm concerned, they could call it Madden 24-42 Hut, and that'd be like that's all I know about NFL.
Still not resonate with either of us.
Yeah.
But it rolls into then FIFA. FIFA's, I mean, they've already been doing their story mode thing for a few years.
Yeah.
But in this case, they're actually
they're having
kind of doubling down on this.
They're having the character return.
This is the sequel.
Yeah.
So I can't think of his name.
Alex Hunter? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I think the surname Hunter was right, but I don't recall. I think Alex might be right. But again, it's the same idea. They're doing story. Sure. The thing that I noticed this year, they didn't perhaps speak about FIFA as much as they would normally do. Like they spoke about FIFA because it's their biggest cash cow.
Well, last year they actually
didn't really add much to it.
They sent the telecast over to Europe, so they didn't really have the crowd for it. Like anything they talked about FIFA, really the crowd was kind of.
Yeah,
it was super middling, like if any interest at all, because like I said, last year they sent it over to Europe, and literally everything they talked about FIFA, the crowd went fucking
they got those guys in jackets, men in jackets, whatever they call themselves. They came out
men in blazers or something.
Blazers, that's the one. Like they were interesting enough. Like, I mean, I don't know the first thing about soccer. I don't follow soccer, but.
I might have passed out during that. It was not. I got super bored. I'm like, what are these dudes talking about? Also, I don't care. Yeah. Go away.
And that's the thing. The lack of interest kind of shows for the both of us.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're definitely more into sports than I am, but
I'm not into soccer though. So
well, I mean, it's nice that they're doubling down and putting some interesting stuff into their, normal sports game. Like
investing in stories, probably a cool aspect.
I guess over the last couple of years, I guess you could say it's gone the same path as first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Where previously it was like, okay, cool, we're really only here for the multiplayer and the campaign's just there to put some meat on the bones, but I think they're kind of doubling down, similar to how, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Titanfall all did. Speaking of Battlefield...
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah, they had a bit of that.
We've got NBA.
NBA.
And NBA was actually something that, for all that, we just hung a little bit of crap on the franchise for its history. And it's not done well. There's been some games that were sent to reviewers and they're like, nope, we're not releasing this thing now, like a week before the game came out.
Yeah, they did that to the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think that was it was like NBA 11 or something stupid like that. It was a long time ago, but reviewers had it and had reviewed it and had given it horrible scores. And then they just ripped it, like, we're not releasing it. But the thing I liked about this NBA
that's because they didn't want to do it to their partner, I guess. They're just like, we don't want to have the NBA being...
Yeah, we want to be able to make more games like this. More games, sorry.
Selfish the partnership.
The thing that I liked actually about this, there was the old NBA Street games that weren't too bad. And this NBA game kind of has your typical NBA,
suggests there'll be
2K style sort of thing, but then there's the NBA Street aspect of it, and I like the two things are part of the same package. if they can get the mechanical aspect of it down pat,
what they didn't
on a
really
similar
talk about.
sort of level to 2K, then I think this could be a really good game.
But what they didn't really talk about is, look, will it just play like 3-on-3 on a street court instead of like a full team?
Yeah,
on a
5-on-5.
Like, if it's not going to play like an NBA street, then what's the point?
Yeah, you're just changing the setting.
Setting and the amount of players, but other than that, like it's
not that much.
So, but look, it'd be interesting because I mean, from what I know, which is very little, like the NBA Street games were a bit more like rough and tumble type.
Yeah, and I hope there's that aspect to it.
Yeah, so do I.
No rules.
Yeah.
Bang. Teeth gone. Well, there's a copper out there that knows that I can do that. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So
moving on from pole thinking is hard.
No, I knocked a guy's teeth out playing basketball once, and it turned out he was a copper.
Yeah, well,
that wasn't great.
Okay.
So Battlefield 1, we don't need to talk about this very long. Battlefield 1, you already know about being a game that came out last year and was really well received and looked fantastic. They're adding a bunch of new
Now
maps.
that you've ruined my segue, let's talk about it some more.
Well, that's because you butchered it before you missed it.
No, get
In the name of the Tsar.
Yeah, I think they're looking to move towards the Eastern Front, have some maps and story there. I'm pretty sure they'd mentioned single-player campaign.
That'd be awesome if that were the case.
I believe.
I don't recall that bit, but you could very well be right. I kind of zoned when they were talking about it.
Yeah, I feel like that they were talking about playing as, or maybe having that setting, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you said, I kind of wasn't all there for it.
But it's from here where we start getting towards some of the bigger games, the more profile things. Again, Battlefield's big, but it's the 2016 release. So we'll kind of throw to Need for Speed. You've got plenty of thoughts on Need for Speed so far.
I mean, they took a year off, which is good considering what the last game was. Oof. Look, I mean, from what I've seen, it looks great. It looks really nice. And it's got takedowns in it. So, like, it's...
I love me some Burnout takedown.
I love...
Need for Speed.
Yeah, well, I mean, look... I mean, Criterion's working on Star Wars, which we'll talk about later, so... I mean, they've probably got...
Games?
Yeah, they've probably got some people from Criterion working on it, because I mean, from what it looks like, it looks like there's drifting, there's driving, there's NOS, there's, nudging people into oncoming traffic and, poles and shit like that, so, I mean, it's got all the things I want. It basically looks like they're going for that Fast and Furious money, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, I mean, fair enough. If you're going to make an interesting game with arcadey handling and give it a bit of that action element, sure, go for it. I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. It's probably the most I've been interested in a Need for Speed game since I guess Hot Pursuit, because that was made by Criterion.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I had my P's with it, and you're gonna shoot me down on it because we've spoken about this already, but a couple of times. But I don't get how a game like this, there's lots of collisions. You'll be seeing it in the gameplay demo that's in the corner of the screen right now. You can see the cars you hit. Sure, they explode or take a bit of damage or whatever. But your little GT that you're driving around in, and then what was it that you drive in the back end of the demo?
So you start with the Shelby Mustang and you finish with the Koenigsegg.
So
I don't know the model. It starts with R. Regalia or something like that.
In both of those cases, though, your car takes next to no damage. Come on, there's modern day. And my only argument to my own point was the fact that it's probably a licensing thing. These car manufacturers don't want their vehicles being smashed up.
Obviously,
even if it's just a digital recreation of them.
I mean, the thing that I said to you first and foremost is the cars you're smashing up are clearly BMWs, so that's probably not it. To my point from that we sort of spoke about earlier, that you were like, oh yeah, makes sense, is that it's probably just because it's a demo. They probably don't want the person who is moving the demo along to be able to wreck and game over and have to start the thing over, because for a presentation standpoint, that's probably not ideal.
Yeah. You don't want to have to replay that. We've seen that sort of thing happen in other games, other demos, in other E3s.
Yeah, where it's just like the person who's demoing it just shits the bed and dies and has to start the demo over or something like that. And again, for a press conference setting, which this effectively was the equivalent of a press conference setting, you don't want that. You really don't want that. And that was the thing, I saw some stuff afterwards, after the AirPlay thing had been done, and Yeah, like you could see that it was proper gameplay because the person was not playing, as well as what the actual trailer had shown, and they actually didn't get some of the sort of action cutscenes that you got during the actual gameplay. So whether that's, you know, if you play well or what have you, there's that. So I don't know. Yeah, that's my point really.
And November 10th, so it's coming pretty soon. Like we got a little trailer kind of debuting the game a couple of weeks before E3, and then we dropped the date on us today. So that's kind of really good news.
It's exciting, yeah.
But we'll throw to the game. For me personally, was the most exciting one out of what we saw.
I'd probably agree with you there. Yeah.
And I mean, we know, and we're going to talk about Anthem soon. We know that we're going to see more when Xbox comes along tomorrow. But so who knows what? Maybe it'll completely smash this out of the park.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
The way out comes from the guys who did Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was a single player twin stick. Like you had to use the left stick to control one of the boys, and the right stick to control the other, and it really broke your brain. It was, once you got around, it was okay, but it took the majority of the game before you really okay. I think I've mastered. This is different. This is a co-op only adventure.
Yeah.
Be it online or couch, I'm going to look to mess around in both styles. I've decided immediately that I'm buying this game. I love what it looks like.
It's really interesting.
Video game, and I love Prison Break.
But it also looks very like pulpy and cool in terms of based on how the characters look, they kind of have this sort of 70s vibe to them. Like lots of chops, lots of like 70s hairstyles and shit, and it's almost got a bit of that, I guess. Like the cutscenes from Mafia 3, I suppose, where it was kind of that sort of style.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And because the way that they've segmented the screens where, like, the person who's in the...
Someone could be in a cutscene.
Someone could be in a cutscene, someone could be actually playing, and the person who's playing might get a slightly smaller window, so the person who's playing the cutscene, because they're both on screen at the same time,
and
obviously.
That's presumably, and there's one bit in, like, you're seeing the trailer and then the gameplay demo that they put out, which was... Oh, it was not a gameplay demo, but it was pre-recorded gameplay. And there was one bit there where you... I don't know the guys' names.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to.
I can't recall, but I feel like they named him. But where one of them's just arrived at prison, so he's completely stark, because all he's got is his bed
clothes in
sheets,
front of his jump.
Hiding all that. But then you're the other guy, and he's already in prison, and you're just kind of prowling around the top and having a bit of a look around and sussing everything out.
Yeah, you're looking down on all the sort of new inmates.
And in that case, the cutscene took up the large portion of the screen. You've only got the small bit as the one person who's still playable.
Which I think is really...
I'm wondering whether you can do... Actually, you probably can't do much meaningful in that bit. You're probably just wandering around and... an alternate perspective on it.
Perhaps. I mean, perhaps you could have some sort of, like, conversational element there, or...
I'd imagine you're
collectible element there, or...
Yeah, that's probably... Yeah, collectible element. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, they did some of that stuff in... I guess Metal Gear Solid 4, even, where they had, like, you could play as... I don't know if you've seen it, but you could play as, like, a little robot in some of the cutscenes, or you could just drive it around and stuff, and it's like a little...
Oh, well, that's right. It just keeps you entertained through an hour-long cutscene.
Yes, of which there was many. And there were actually collectibles in that sort of setting where you could... And they would actually be meaningful to the gameplay. So, look, I doubt that they're going to go that far down that rabbit hole.
It'd be cool, though.
That is a very Kojima rabbit hole for you to go down. But it's really interesting in terms of what they were doing with the real estate. Like, I mean, there was some where the cutscenes would be obviously in the widescreen, like the letterbox.
Yeah.
You know, with the black strips, whereas the still gameplay was not, if that makes sense. Which it gives it a really sort of stylized, almost comic book.
And there was even one where you've got equal portion of the screen, but there was one bit where you're pushing one of the players is pushing the laundry cart, and someone else is hiding in it, and all you can see is through the little slit that there is on the side of it. So
it's really cool.
Perspectives, and you kind of
it's really interesting.
Especially if you were playing that online, that aspect there, online co-op, like that'd be. I wonder if you'd get the full screen or whether it still divides the screen in half, because that'd be really interesting. Or you can see you've jumped in and you're just hoping that the person who's pushing the cart
and it gives you like that
doing the right thing.
And if there's voice chat, I mean, that would go a long way to that as well. It's really interesting,
and it's coming early next year, which is awesome. They just said early 2018. They didn't specify a release date. Before we jump into Anthem and some of those bits and pieces, one thing I did notice was missing was the indie game that they kind of revealed last year. Yeah, whatever it is. It seems like EA, based on their last few E3s, they want to hammer down on one indie game, or one EA original.
Yeah.
So we had Unravel the first year, Faye last year, and now this.
Though Unravel came out, whereas
Faye hasn't.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
And the developers who is developing Faye does a fair bit, so I'm sure the game's not dead. But
no, not at all. No, I don't think it's dead. It's just a little bit of a shame that we haven't sort of seen anything. Yeah.
Anthem is one, and we'll touch on it briefly because it was a very short trailer. We're going to see more about it from Microsoft.
Some might call it a teaser.
Well, yeah, given they were basically, you're going to see more at Microsoft tomorrow.
Just that it was like, hey, it's one of those sorts of things where it's just got a lot of the boom.
Yeah, heavy bass.
And just that, and lots of like
Tone
cutting to black, and yeah. Look, from what I could see, it looked like the setting was almost Horizon-y, though maybe a little bit less
open. You
open.
kind of got this giant, big dinosaur-looking thing at the beginning.
Yeah, kind of robo-dinosaur.
Like, okay, cool.
Bit of jungle.
Yeah.
Like, and then you've got sort of like an open mech suit, so who knows? Maybe you're piloting it. Maybe you're
for sure.
Who knows? But
and then the last half hour arrived, and it was all Star Wars based. They kind of signposted there's going to be all about Star Wars. I'd really hoped that we'd see some of Amy Hennig's
or any
games, Star Wars game, but instead all we got was Battlefront. Battlefront stuff looked awesome.
No, it did, but I was expecting more than one game.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time on just one game, which is a bit sad because, like you said, there's the Amy Hennig's game, but then there's also the Respawn.
The Respawn one, Stig Asmundsen, or how you pronounce his surname.
Yeah, is that the one that Jade went to as well? Or was that something else?
Jade Raymond's Motive. So she's
right.
She's working on Battlefront, the story part.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But
it's so fucking intermingled over there.
Yeah, it's with like Criterion, for example, they got their fingers in every.
Yeah.
Look, it's good. I think it's good.
No, it is.
Kind of collaborating and helping one another out and lending their expertise to different bits and pieces. I think it makes for a better product at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it doesn't make for another Burnout game.
That doesn't make for another Burnout game. It doesn't make for that Criterion developed.
Oh, that's sports games.
Sports
that's probably never going to happen.
But the thing that I will say about Battlefront, for all that I was clearly we were both disappointed that we didn't see any of those other Star Wars games. I feel like the Battlefront stuff kept me engaged for that entire half hour regardless.
Oh, the commentating kind of grated on me for a bit. But
I actually really enjoyed that because when they said shoutcaster, I thought, oh no, this is going to be really bad. I'm really against shoutcasting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then to me it sounded like a normal sort of sports commentator, which was more low-key, and they were offering insights and more opinion-based stuff rather than, oh my god, look at that, like that sort of.
Yeah, but just some of the stuff, like there was one part where a dude was flying, and then there is sort of dogfighting, which was pretty cool. But there was one part where a dude crashes into something, and one of the commentators is like, "Oh, that's gotta hurt." I'm like, "Shut up, just shut up."
Again, it was still a bit more low key than
forever. Like
what we've seen in the past.
Yes, no, you're right. It was definitely toned down from.
We've seen some dodgy stuff.
Yeah, like even the Sony thing that they had. Was it that what was that competitive shooter one that they had? Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about, where it's kind of like.
Was it the VR one?
Yes, it was the VR.
The name escapes me, but Starblood Arena.
Yeah, and they went full esports on that, and it was rough.
And Ubisoft's done it in the past too.
Oh yeah, Ubisoft does it all the time. But yeah, look, this was definitely lower key, which was good, but it would have been better if they had have actually described what was actually happening, because they basically went through a whole game.
Yeah.
And the game is made up of several phases, and they did mention that aspect, but they didn't really
dive super deep.
Yeah, they didn't really say, okay, well, this is what this phase is for, this is what they should be doing.
I think they certainly got a bit consumed by, so there's one point where Darth Maul's you can play as Darth Maul, and
that's cool.
Slicing and dicing and bouncing around. I think they got really hung up on how awesome that looked and forgot that they're describing the game for us.
Yeah. It was great to, I guess from a hype standpoint of like, oh, these things are really cool. Hey, you can play as the the big battle droid and shoot your wrist lasers, and hey, you can have, you know, Boba Fett jump jets on a clone trooper that you can pick, and, you know, there are classes and cool shit like that. But like, what they didn't really explain was how the game flow would be, which I guess, considering that that's all the other game had, you should probably be putting some time into showing how that's been improved. Yeah, because it has been quite a small turnaround.
Yeah,
in terms of, you know, 1 to 2
years.
Yeah. So you would think that they would have done that a bit better.
There are a couple of things I did appreciate about what they did, aside from, well, there were plenty of good aspects of the multiplayer, but a few other bits and pieces. So they showed off some of the campaign. Just part of the trailer. Subtle. They can be relocated. There's a campaign level that is playable out of E3, which a few other bigger, your IGNs and GameSpots, they've already been and played it and had fairly good things to say, apparently, which is nice. And one other little bit that was kind of just dropped in there and people started questioning it, and EA confirmed afterwards that you don't have to pay for DLC. Everyone gets the same thing. It's where the Battlefront, the original Battlefront, modern Battlefront, not old PS2 Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront from 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2015. You paid for absolutely everything. They charged you through the nose. Everything cost you a fair bit, and there was a lot of DLC. It was great. They put out a lot of content, but it was a lot of money people pay. You don't have to pay a cent.
But that's the thing. Like, all the content was still a multiplayer game. Like, it was still just, hey, cool, here's some additional content I've got for my multiplayer. Like, they didn't, you know, bolt on like a huge big single player campaign that you could pay for. But they charged
there was
like
still a lot they could charge for. And PlayStation owners got the VR exclusive thing. Fair enough that cost you. There was the VR exclusive thing. I think that cost $20 or something like that, if I recall. It was good, but look, I was happy to see that they were.
The most important part was that they said they're going to support it for a while.
Yes,
multiple
seasons of content. Yeah.
I think they said multiple. I don't.
Something yes, Red Sense said.
Okay, sure, fair enough. Which, I mean, look, is that a Diablo season, or is that a is that a year season pass type season? Like,
or is this actual season in a year? You got 3 months of this shit.
Roll to another
one, and then here, look, Battlefield World War II.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So we'll see what happens in that regard. Is there anything that you didn't see at EA Play that you were disappointed didn't appear outside of, we've already spoken about Star Wars? Is there anything you were hoping for? I can't think of many of their studios that
I can't really think of a lot of stuff that EA even does.
I was surprised that we didn't see, I'm not going to say disappointed, but I was surprised we didn't see anything Sims related.
Oh, there was a tiny bit of Sims in one of the sizzle reels, so I expected to see it. But I'm glad I didn't have to sit through that.
And we didn't see, PopCap in any way, shape or form. So there was no Plants vs. Zombies or
that's very true.
Peggle or something to that effect. And we all love Peggle.
Peggle's alright.
Peggle's great.
Peggle's alright. Fuck, what does EA even do anymore?
No, that's sports. We didn't see NHL.
True.
I didn't see the much anticipated AFL EA development.
Look, it was a bit of a shame that there wasn't more IP, because all we saw was like a very, very short, like here's a quick touch of Anthem and hey, this one really cool thing, which was I guess does Need for Speed count as a new IP?
It's not in my eyes, but
no. In terms of
how long's it been going for?
No, but in terms of where they're taking it, it's been
revitalised.
Yeah, not IP. IP is probably not the right word to use in that, but a new effectively a new
game
announcement. Yeah. Whereas a lot of the other stuff is it's year in year out. I would even argue that Star Wars kind of fits into that year in year out because it's been such a short term.
So there was a tweet that came not long after where people were kind of going, "Where's the Amy Hennig Todd Stashwick game, blah, blah, blah." And they both kind of got out and like, no, this is Battlefront's year. We'll see you next year. Just relax, slow down. Which is great for next year. I'm now super hyped to...
It's nice that they're not rushing it for the movie.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I don't know, man. I can't even...
As things stand for next year, the Han Solo movie's May.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Which is weird. I don't think that'll end up being the case. It'll shift to
December. I honestly can't even think of any EA properties that I would have liked to have seen.
Dead Space.
Dead Space is one.
I would have loved to see.
But if I want to see Dead Space go anywhere, I'd like to see Dead Space in the hands of the A team of BioWare. I think that'd be a really nice way to take it.
BioWare.
Yeah.
Not Visceral again.
Correct.
All right.
Because
that for the later
I think that would be like it'd be an interesting to get a bit more, I guess, character development than a Dead Space generally. Like Dead Space does provide character development, but it's in and amongst the action.
Yeah.
I think that maybe having something maybe a little bit more RPG focused.
Yeah,
I mean, who else at EA does RPGs? I mean, if they've got
it's BioWare, that's it.
Yeah. And I certainly don't want the B team to do it.
Yeah. because then you get Mass Effect Andromeda.
And that's a bad time.
Dead Space Andromeda.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look.
Andromeda's still good. And I know you and I...
I wish a planet had eaten the entire Andromeda game.
The original Mass Effect games. It's not what it could have or should have been.
Yeah,
that's why I was surprised that there was nothing...
Skate 4, actually. Skate 4 is one thing I'm sad I didn't get to see. Because that would have been really great.
I was adamant that'd be there, actually. They've been teasing. Look, the Tomb Raider. Sorry, not Tomb Raider. Tony Hawk. They've been teasing the Tony Hawk game, like actually teasing and giving it shit.
Yeah,
it was rubbish.
Well, look, to be fair, they actually did put a bit of an emphasis on Gamescom. So who knows? We might see something at Gamescom.
That'd be nice.
They did defer quite a bit of stuff, I recall.
Yeah, we'll show you a bit more of this. Yeah, Gamescom, which is good. I think it's spreading the load out. Yeah. It's a very Sony/Nintendo sort of approach. Like, with Sony, you go, okay, we'll see you at E3, and then in 6 months' time, we've got PSX.
But also Gamescom. They usually, or even Paris Games Week. Yeah.
From E3 onwards, Sony's really active. But
and then as soon as Christmas hits,
spreading your message out across a year, I think, is a brilliant approach. Now, I don't know that EA necessarily has enough to be able to do that yet.
True.
But Nintendo, for example, like they fit that mold perfectly. Where perhaps their E3 presence is it's not as big as it should be, and we'll see what happens in a couple of days. But
he's open.
Metroid.
Yeah.
But
I guess after playing Super Metroid, you're kind of down the hole now, aren't you?
Yeah. But
because previously that you would just would have been like,
it looks good. So cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, like, she's a girl, great.
Yeah, nice that they've done more of that thing that people seem to like.
Yeah, there's people who like it, great.
But now you're involved.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll finally get to see Earthbound. Well, I doubt it. But Mother 3, no, it's not gonna happen.
Anyway, but like Nintendo, like they have their directs over the course of the year. They spread out the message. You might have one that's totally solely dedicated to Zelda, Animal Crossing, Mario, Pokemon.
Yeah, they're very regular. So regular that I can't even keep up.
Then the big pillars, and then they have something like they did a few months back with the indie directs. Like that's a cool way of getting your message out there.
Yep.
And if EA is starting to, they perhaps don't have as much they don't have as much going on.
Yeah.
But if they're able to begin to spread their message out over the course of a year, and they're just drip feeding people information that keeps your fans engaged.
It's a good message.
It is the balancing act because they're not massive, and we don't want an EA press conference where it's dev diaries like we did a couple of years ago. Oof. That was not a good press conference, a good press conference at all. So
some would argue that's not a press conference.
It's not. So it's that balancing act they need to nail down, but if they can do that, then they'll be way better off going forward.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And they would have to worry less about being a leaky ship like Ubisoft. Yeah. It's just like, well, fuck it, we can just get on the front foot.
So anyway, here you go. Here's what you need to know. Overall, happy still with EA? Disappointed?
Oh, look.
I mean, it's probably a mixture of both.
Middling, yeah. I mean, what they showed that wasn't sports looked pretty cool. I mean, Anthem looked pretty cool. A Way Out looked fantastic. Yeah. Need for Speed looked cool and interesting. Star Wars. EA
probably need to take a look at the fact that at the last 3 years, one of the big things that's been discussed has been their EA original game, be it Yarny and Unravel, be it Faye, and now probably more than either of those previous two.
Yeah.
A Way Out. I think they need to go, let's not necessarily focus on one a year, let's really embrace this, let's put more money into this.
Well, yeah, I mean...
You get an indie game with EA budget, well, probably not their full budget. It's not the sort of money you're going to get for Battlefront 2 or something like that. Yeah. But they just throw a little bit in there and ensure that you're okay.
Disney budget, but
but we know that EA is made of money. Like if they can just throw a little bit that way, like there's a 2 or 3% slice of their pie that's just cut out for these indie games. It'll make a big difference to those. And
well, I mean, Ubisoft's already gone kind of down that.
Kind of maintains the integrity of what makes these indie
and
games.
And Sony's definitely gone down that path. ID at Xbox, I mean, we'll see what they've got tomorrow, but they usually kind of go down that
Throw out
route.
and they've got Cuphead, for example, that fit that bill entirely, and like we'll give you the platform to get your game in front of people.
And hopefully they announce a release date, because that thing needs to come out.
Let's hope it's September or something.
Yeah.
But look, that's EA done. Overall, personally, fairly happy with the conference just because of a few of those. I feel it was worth it because of what they showed of A Way Out and because of Anthem, and Star Wars looked great.
It showed promise while still
They
being
need to capitalise
boring.
on it still. they still need to capitalise on it further, and if they take advantage of opportunities like Gamescom, then who knows where they'll go from there.
Sure.
So that is EA. Make sure to please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Make sure to visit player2.net.au where there's heaps of written content. There's already a summary for what's gone on there, and presumably a few of the other conferences by the time you're viewing this.
Yes, it's early.
It is, it is quite early at this point. And there's a lot of E3 still to come. We've got Microsoft. We get a little bit of a day off now, but we've got Microsoft tomorrow, and then we roll into Bethesda, and the following day with Ubisoft, and it's
Sony, and
really
then the
quite
following day with Nintendo, and
yeah. So there's lots still to come, and
the PC one will be in there, and Devolve will be in there.
It just won't be like last year where we won't have this gradual descent into total dishevelled messes because they're nicely spaced out this time. We can be rested.
And I figured I'd
I'm
come
a
to
fan of this
Sheffield
E3.
anyway.
I made sure to shave beforehand.
Yeah, I don't fuck.
Look, it's a good stuff, but like, share and subscribe. Visit player2.net.au. Paul James P2 on Twitter. Jay doesn't do the Twitters, so make sure to just go to player2au on Twitter for all his thoughts. No, and Matt's doing kind of running commentaries of every conference as they happen.
Dance for me puppets.
Yeah. So make sure to visit all that. It's really awesome. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow where we talk all about what we saw at Microsoft.